Steve. Mark, is he around? Say hi, Mark! He's outside. And this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Welcome or welcome back, and happy Sunday. We are having some brunch today, such that it is brunch. I'm having some bran flakes. That's a little bit of Splenda on top. Banana with cereal. An apple if I'm still hungry. Almond milk. And a Diet Pepsi, because you can take the boy out of Nipa. But, so, happy Sunday. Hope everyone's well and safe. It's been very quiet here. Mark's been outside. My parents stopped by for a little visit, so it's been otherwise pretty quiet. It feels kind of like a Saturday. Hi, Mike. How are you? Hey, Jasper. Because it's going to be a 3-day weekend with Columbus Day, and I'm off. So it's kind of nice. It's like feeling like I had like 3 Fridays or so. Hey, Pixie. Which is very exciting. Janet, hello. So I thought I would check in. I was following up with, our fair lady, and I thought we were going to be having brunch or dinner or lunch today anyway. We might as well check in. So I brought a little cutting board for my fruit, so I'm not cutting on the table. Like you would care. But just so you know, I'm not. Just so you know, I'm not. Today is the day of the Scranton Marathon. So there were fit people all over the place. Christina, hello. Seafood, hello. So that's what you hear me chopping is banana. Banana. I don't know if no one's ever mentioned that I have a Pennsylvania, specifically Northeast Pennsylvania accent. Few words always betray everybody. The word water, the word doctor, whatever your thing is. So, Mr. Phoebe, hello, hello. I think I will have an apple. Actually. Assuming it's not nasty in the center. And it's not. So, always a good thing. So we're going to catch up a bit with our fair lady Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, The Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, The Chantal Show, Chantal and Sala, Everyday Miriam, the one that got the plaque, and Foodie Beauty again. Hey, Grateful. So, welcome to brunch. What we're talking about with Foodie Beauty at the moment is her having an issue. Sala is with his family somewhere else. A place she was invited to go and is allegedly invited to go and is not. So she is home alone. This is not news. This has been happening more lately. She posts a live, and labeling the live says, "We are not separated. We are separating," in terms of the relationship and all that kind of stuff. That's all right. I'll catch you on the replay, Mr. McPhoebs. So she's not sure why people seem to be confused, or apparently she thinks Sala's confused, that the relationship is not over till she leaves, that it's still going on, or that he's bound to the terms of the relationship, even though she's the one who told us she initiated the breakup. And since he's not devastated, she's pissed. She was moody as hell, and you know what? Trifling, trashy, throwing out the F-bomb while the prayer bells are ringing. I mean, she's so her. She's, stay true to you. Don't try to improve or anything. Just stay as smug as you are. And beg the guy who doesn't even want you around. You're squatting in his house. You think he'd have a better attitude. You're not wanted there. She's not wanted there at all. She's as much said so. They've as much said so. She's not welcome. So, what leads up from there is that Haley, she said she had taken access and took a look at his phone. Now, we talked about phones last time we sat down, and honestly, I had figured she wants to go through his phone. I thought, which she had said, she couldn't see his family's texts because she said they're in another language that she doesn't understand. That wouldn't be surprising. But she also lies, so kind of hard to tell. But she wants the rope around Sala's neck while he's away. She tried to spoil his good time, essentially, by bringing up his name, bringing up drama with him, because he was having a good time with other people. It's not enough that she was invited. She has to have him, her ex-husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, refuse to spend time with his family, to spend more time with her. For what? To build a relationship? You're separating. When it's already over, it's like when you give your 2 weeks notice. That hard work ethic usually stops by then because everyone knows it's been over for a while. This just confirms the obvious. So there actually probably is no separating. And cheaters cheat, snoopers snoop. So if she's looking at his phone, she wants to beg, please don't go, honey. He doesn't care. She tries to pull the money card. He's got a place to live. I think he's gotten out of her everything he probably needs by now for the life that he's planning to go start. Unless she wants to be dumb and give him more, that's on her. Every 0 is another degree of loneliness. Yeah. This is a very large spoon for cereal, just saying. But the fact that she thinks, or might think he's talking to other people or doing anything else, if he is, so what? What ground do you have to stand on? Her response to that, which would be, of course, you would say, well, if you're breaking up or broken up, what's the difference? What's the hurt feelings? What commitment is there standing that could be broken by this behavior? And she goes, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, she's a jealous little bitch. That's what's behind the scenes. And he's doing anything with his life other than crying about her leaving. He's not honoring whatever commitment they had. The only string she has at this point, she must be running out of them because all she can get is attention. It is a Chantal spoon, Andy. It is. I should have got... I don't want the ladle. The ladle was used for other things. But the transparent nerve to say my ex is only assumed to be X. So I have say over their behavior until I say otherwise. What are you going to do if he doesn't do it? Divorce him? What are you going to do? Her only string is probably the big string she's always pulled. So, they're separating, not separated. I haven't eaten. I'm eating. There's a difference, right? Of course, for Chantal, that bizarre comparison actually works. You've asked her if she's eaten, she'll say no as long as she's still eating. You never know. You never know. Well, I took a few notes, a few thoughts. Let me take a look at what I got. Now, as someone who's married, I can weigh in on this. She said she's married. If she's not, she's just, whatever. As someone who's married, and who was with the person I married for about 8 years, not 3 weeks. So trust was, still a sort of a thing. When we got together, we both have phones. Mine didn't have a passcode on it. His did. And at this point, he can look at my phone. There's nothing in there that I wouldn't have already told him. There's no bombshells. There's no surprises. And he could go through mine. Because that peace of mind is there, it doesn't occur to me to pick up his phone. What am I trying to see? Is he talking to somebody else? Is he doing things with somebody else? If we were divorced, what would the difference be? If he's doing anything with anybody else? What kind of thing am I going to hold over his head? We're not broken up yet. We're broken up when I say so. You initiated it. You don't get full control. If you say I want to break up and then that person goes and does what they want, you don't get to go back and say how they should act. That's so stupid that you would even think. That is so immature. Shit like this happened with BB. BB, she couldn't let it go. She kept going back to their shared apartment that she didn't live in anymore. She would leave one more thing and one more thing. And, oh, I forgot this. And she said she solicited him for sex and he said no. So it's her. It's not their behavior, because then it would be the fault of BB. It would be the fault of Sala, who basically said, you're not welcome here. Don't come over. Don't come in. And when he all but shut the door in her face, she laughed. So she had a history with Sala, too, of the same thing. We broke up. Okay, he's talking to somebody else. Well, he's not allowed to. We broke up only a couple days ago. Yeah, with her and Nads, it was every other week. So... why she's been on leaving? I don't know. At the end of October, she's like hell-bent. And then she says, well, maybe I'll leave earlier. Maybe I won't. Yeah, everything she left at his place. All I need to do is get into their apartment. It's more of a game than a matter of the heart to move in with someone if you're Chantal. It's a matter of power, not love, not an attempt at closeness, not a next step in the relationship. It's leverage. Whoever pays for it, you know? And this is the situation Pete is going to walk back into. She has not only not changed in 4 years, I think she's worse. At least she was out and out about being something of a scummy person from time to time when she was still at the villa. Now with this modest Miriam shit, it's going to take her forever to shake that pious stuff. Yes, Sandra, I'd agree. She can only feel good about herself when a man wants her. Even if she doesn't want the man. The attention is the thing. Andy, and in one deep breath, manipulation and control. This is it. She doesn't have relationships. She has hostages. She doesn't have relationships with people. She doesn't have family. She treated them like shit for that long. They left. We were her spouse from Canada. She can't help herself, but she's also demonstrated, unfortunately, which, I mean, she was being a precocious brat in the live, talking about how reactors have nothing to say, talking about how people in the chat have no right to comment, and how, well, I am married, I'll comment. Your relationship sounds like fake shit. Sounds like you don't even like each other. It'd be better off for you to love each other and not be married than to have some piece of paper and play cat and mouse on YouTube like a fucking joke. This is why no one respects Chantal. She goes from being superior to being, wantingly subservient. So, she wants the leverage to treat someone like shit, but then the demureness and such to be controlled and wanted and fawned over. The only one sort of looking forward to her coming over is Pete's. And Pete's has been warned if anything happens at this point. So he's known her longer than all of us. He's known her entire life. He either accepts her warts and all the way she is, or he's really that pathetic that he thinks he's as pathetic to her as she is to Sala. Oh, maybe this time it'll be different. I think they really like me. I think Pete sat home with a broken heart for a long time, and it's harder to live with a person when you have that broken heart. I can't necessarily weigh in on living with someone who I used to be with, but it's hard. And you don't get jealous and territorial, but you might get upset, because when you're a grown person, you don't speak that immature shit into the air when you're getting out of a relationship, because it betrays how petty and high school that a marriage was. Little games and pet names, and it's still pretty physical. Him holding his nose when you come in the room doesn't mean it's physical. Aisha, hello. So this makes it seem like because she's such a loose cannon and so needy, that goes above any amount of planning or manipulation, I think. So if she gets back to Canada and decides again she's going to turn around, as long as there's some string in him. I mean, she can always hold over his head, I helped you out when you needed this, when you did that, you were doing this till I got there. She's so abusive. She uses abusive language. She talks about her partners in abusive, diminished ways. And she gets pissed when confronted on it by people who aren't afraid of the fact that she's going to talk down. She would never do any of that to Wanda or the other purse monkeys because they would stop the money train coming. They would stop the compliments no matter what your behavior is. The acceptance no matter how awful you are. This is why Pizza's back again. Day 3 of horror virus. Annie, hello, hello. Oh no, that's so bad. Well, I hope it's not the big C. We've been tested. My parents were just here. They're going to get their COVID shots now. They already got their flu vaccines. They got them. They never had COVID. I've had COVID. I had the vaccine. But then like a year and a half later, I got some kind of COVID. Mildly. Neither of my parents have had it, knock wood. And they're in their 70s. So checking your partner's phone, she thinks is normal. And she shared as much in the chat that she thinks checking your partner's phone is normal. I'll put this to you guys. If you're in a relationship or have been, it's not something I do. Not once I was comfortable. The thought of wanting to, at the beginning of our relationship, maybe it was there. I was like, does he really like me? What if he likes someone else? What if he's just being nice and saying we're in a relationship and he secretly has a life with other people doing other things? So those insecurities definitely kicked up. But we had 8 years to get to know each other, so by the time we actually got married, we worked that shit out. We had been in and out of couples therapy. We had spent a lot of time with my family. We had spent time together. We had spent time with other people. And we were ready to be married. We weren't ready to sign paper. We were ready to be together. And so it was a natural next step to get married. It wasn't for content. It wasn't out of desperation or loneliness. And so I'm not surprised she had bad outcome. This, dear Chantal, was your karma, sitting home, fingers flying, helpless to the situation. He's still at Tinder. Maybe it would have been worth checking. The agreements and details they have in place. The only thing I could speculate, and we'll speculate more, the agreements and details are that, yes, we're broken up, but you are not to talk to another woman or flirt with another woman or get married or do anything that would spoil her public image of being the one who broke everything off. That he's not supposed to expose or do anything like that until she leaves at the end of October. Whichever that, whatever that is. So he's got to sit around for 2.5 weeks and put his life on hold and play husband to someone he knows he's breaking up with. Why would you put the effort in? We're going to break up on the 30th. That means on the 2nd, I don't give a fuck what happens to you or if you're mad at me. Especially if I'm the one who dumped you, then I get to go back and say, this is how you have to act after I've dumped you. Here are the terms. I think she didn't want to be embarrassed. I think she didn't want anything to get out about him talking to anyone else, and she didn't want to see him doing it. And when she's doing a live to us, saying there's terms and boundaries, she's hoping he's listening at the wedding and trying to remind him of his obligations. So she was trying to ruin his good time. If he's any kind of guy that would be like, my kind of guy, he won't even listen. As soon as she starts ranting, just turn it off. She's going to be gone in a few weeks anyway. She'll be nothing but a stank memory. So she's co-parenting Julia when she leaves. She barely parents that cat now. She just leaves out big bowls of food once a week. This money pays off. I see, said the blind man. I don't know. This money pays off her debt, clearing the way for him to come to Canada. That's a working theory. I don't know anybody in the know with immigration and that kind of thing. Like, I don't know anybody that would be like my go-to and say, this is what her situation looks like and here's what's going to happen. I know the goal always was to get him to Canada, and it's been a long haul. But if he's having relationships or anything with anybody else, all she can do, if the plan is to go to Canada, is hold it over his head. The other alternative is that she's just making rage bait. And that it's nothing other than her just trying to stir the pot to keep things interesting until the end of the month. So I was thinking, she's having trouble getting apartments before and all that other shit. It's because her name is garbage. And she'll blame haters. You need something to hate to be a hater. You need something to hate. No, Miss Connie, I heard it too. Physical with him can't be more than, I don't know, bumping into her in the hall. They were never physical. Never physical. And I know that she can't reproduce, so she could say, well, I can't have kids, so you would never know. Just because I don't know doesn't mean that it's true. For public perception's sake, if I can't prove she's lying, she's telling the truth. But between the privacy of her own ears, she knows whether or not she's full of shit. And the fact that she catches feelings, at least of jealousy, means that she has something of a heart, even if it's only one that's jealous and hurt. But, hey, you treat people like shit, they're going to leave your life. You don't get to say, hey, come back, I'm not done with you yet. Fuck you. Get on a plane. I don't know you. I didn't know them, so I didn't answer. Yes, Panda, I am inclined to agree. She would need to go back to her old 15, 20K a month self. Would he want a wife who had to act like that? He put up with this much, but I mean, he still had some leverage. She was still in a hijab. She still had to, every few weeks, dial it back and be modest. She'd blow her cover quickly, but I think she'd be encouraged to, dial it back for their sake, to make the marriage or relationship, whatever it was, appear more believable. The unbelievable part is that she's part of it. Anyone on the service who didn't know Chantal would say, hey, a lot of people move from the West and meet people in the East. Yeah, but that's not your situation. That's other people's situation. It's not 90 Day Fiancé. Those people look happier than this. And besides, what does she have to offer at this point? Except for maybe a line for him to come here. But if he's already having marriages and possibly starting new relationships there and going with his family there, it's very possible that he's not going to, even if the plan was to go to Canada, that he's not going now. I don't know. What a tangled web we weave, don't we? Very tangled web we weave. We'll see. Chantal has demonstrated that money and ego pretty much trumps all. No, I don't see the big money coming back. I don't see the old days. I don't see Villa 2.0 with her getting... I think she's going to try hard. She's going to initially say no, and then she's going to try hard to recreate it when she realizes that being back here and showing her hair was interesting for like the first 3 minutes of her first video back in Canada. And after that, it's more of the same. Freudian slip. Who wants to, sit and watch her treat Pete's poorly for another however long he puts up with it until she meets another guy? If she'll pick up and leave on 2 weeks to Syria, why the fuck would you sign a lease with her, Pete's? She's demonstrated that she's willing to leave people high and dry when it's in what she believes her best interest. At this point, as much as I feel like Pete's is a vulnerable person that she's taking advantage of, at a certain point, he has to have the dignity of failing. I can't say, he doesn't know enough and she's taking advantage. No, if I want to treat him as a respected individual, then Pete's the man, the individual, the person, whatever he is, whatever they are. If he's not going to stand up to her, then he's just going to... Another cat. It's another cat. I'll get rid of you when I need a new apartment, too. Forgetting that she's how do you co-parent a cat that is a 15-hour flight away? How do you do that? You don't. You say it to sound cute to bury your irresponsibility. And that's... You got it for spite, and now you're getting rid of it. And she says Sala will take care of it. And I do have to say, if the cat likes anyone, it's probably Sala. Sala's the one who was able to make sure the cat got through from Kuwait to Syria, which was odd. Oh yeah, no smoking in the villa. But she did everything. She got an apartment that was all white with walk-up stairs. I mean, she got what she deserved. It keeps a line open, Seafood. Exactly. Saying she's co-parenting means she can still reach out to him. She can still talk to him. There will be a video about, I want my cat back, Sala. Wait, there'll be a live rage over it. She runs low on money. It gets to be that time of the month. Sounds good enough to get people twisted. She'll insist that she should get the cat shit back to her, because it's hers. He didn't even want it. Just as an excuse to fight with him, because if she's fighting with him or she's co-parenting with him, she has an excuse to talk to him. It's absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. Much agreed. Poor thing. Well, poor nothing, but poor thing. And not for nothing, I know this is way off topic. But if she didn't gain any weight, as she says, why the hell can't she walk? Does she have some third undisclosed illness that prevents her from walking comfortably? If she hasn't gained weight, why does she need a Jazzy now when she didn't need one before? Now, grant you, I'm 6 foot tall. I'm about 200-ish, give or take the day. And I can't see myself being in the same situation she was in. I can't see sore hips, knees. Yeah, it's sore because she got fatter. That's what I was starting to say. My stats are different than hers, but if I was as immobile as she was, I would lose the ability to move too. Yeah, big news. Tear out the front page. Her knees hurt. Her knees and ankles hurt. So if she hasn't gained any weight and in fact has lost some, then what is this debilitating condition that she can't do? Has she just gotten so, you know what I mean? New wife rage incoming. This will be good. This will be good. This is the kind of thing when she says, oh, you guys just love to see me mad like this, don't you? I'm like, don't pretend like you have a heart. Yes, I love to see you mad about this kind of stuff. You treat people poorly for attention. Smokey was a sweetie. But the cat is about her. It's not about the cat. It's about her. Thank God she doesn't have dogs. I think I know people that would probably track her down more fiercely if she was cruel to dogs than cats. I don't know why. I think people bond. I mean, I'm bonded with my cats, of course, and if she put a hand on any one of them, I'd, be upset and might act out. We'll say that. We'll keep it nice and easy for that. But look at my nose. So that's what makes me think either she's faking her health problems or she's oblivious to one. It's worth asking, if you don't think you've gained weight, to go to your doctor and say, I have not gained any weight, but I am almost entirely immobile to the point where I need an assisted device. Ma'am, what is the disability that's been keeping you from walking? Oh, I'm just tired of it now. And she said as much in the live. I'd rather go to the store and ride a Jazzy. I don't want to walk. F that. She will. Yes, Elaine, she will have a new cat. Yes, atrophy. I don't think she knows the word, but if you just lay around, you're not going to be able... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay down and rest until my mobility comes back. I think dogs are more dependent than cats. I mean, I would love a dog at some day. Now is not the right apartment. This is not the right income. This is not the right house for it. But, Pete's doesn't understand, or he does and he's okay with it. I wouldn't say Pete's is a model of high self-esteem. And as much as she'll take any attention better than no attention, so will he, I think. Especially hers. If Sava turned around tomorrow and said, Chantal, stay, be wife, real wife, she would fucking take all the money she saved to go back to Canada and spend it on a new honeymoon with him. If Natter called tomorrow and said, hello, I need bail money, she would do it. I think with BB, it was before she got a little bit YouTube crazy, and it was a little more private. It was a little more, she was still full of shit, but she was not as obnoxious about it. So, I don't know. But the problem is not Sala's to change. It is for hers to mature her way out of. It makes her look so bad to be this immature when somebody else has their life going on. If I've told you get out of my life and then you do and go have anything like fun, and I go to my platform to trash you, Yeah, it'll be the big check. Well, everything she's been grifting for. I'm collecting money for Sasa. I'm collecting money for a cat. I need to raise 5 grand so I can leave. I need more than that. I need closer to 10. I can't leave until I do it. She went on strike essentially too. I'm not making content until I get it. She didn't so much as come online every day to talk to her chat or anything. She came on to run the clock. She has not made a video. People have asked her, make videos. Then you don't have to stream where we can't see you. And she's like, well, I like it like this, though, which means it's this or nothing, guys, so get over it. I don't know. My days of treating people that poorly, I hope are over. But it did start with B. When you draw it back to B, I don't know how long any of you have been around. A lot of you have been around for years. BB was the person that she was with when I first stumbled into her channel. She was living with him in an apartment, and it wasn't as nice as the villa looking. BB worked. She didn't. She stayed home. She was doing mostly mukbangs. She would drop in periodically mentioning BB. He'd be sitting in the background playing video games or something. BB was not Sala. BB was closer to her height. He was from Senegal, so she made him cook sometimes. She liked his food. But when they split, she said it was more amicable. I'm betting it was him. She delayed breakup with him, not deliberately by having surgery, but it prolonged the amount of time BB stayed with her. BB seemed to be a relatively stand-up guy, cared about her, and even when the feelings were gone, took care of her because he felt like it was the right thing to do. And then when that was done, he ran like his ass was on fire. Yeah, Andy, not even a mukbang, not even a sit down and eat with me. Maybe they'll bring home leftovers from the wedding. She could have a mukbang on those. Did the storm hit anyone yet? We haven't had any of the nor'easter that's supposed to be coming. It's supposed to be, I'm in Northeast PA, tonight into tomorrow. Winds and whatnot. Yeah, after she had cheated, BB stayed. So either he was forgiving, he was a bit of a doormat, or they had another arrangement that cheating didn't interfere with. So people suspected at the time that there was some sort of immigration nonsense that was going on with BB too. And I mean, who the hell knows? But you think after one of these, she'd meet a guy who liked her. Somebody out there likes Chantal just the way she is. I know it's hard to believe. Somebody out there, warts and all, loves her just like that. That's why I always look at the Beezer pool and I think, God, is there uranium in the drinking water wherever these people live? Because, I mean, she's clearly self-centered. The fact that you would overlook her treating other people poorly and think, she would never treat me that way. Why? Why should you be so special? You're just another screen name. So, Pete's. Good old Pete's. He'll outlive us all. Pete's was just doing... I think Pete's is a lazy man also. I think he's a lazy person. I keep saying man. I don't mean to direct his gender. He's a lazy person. And Pete's would not take a lot of initiative to start life over. Pete's doesn't take initiative in life from what it sounds like and what she shows. Things just happen to Pete's. He's just... but not in a go with the flow kind of way, in a, let what life work, take it. And it's one thing if you are live and let live and easy breezy and don't complain, but he complains a little bit about what a cruel world it is and how he does absolutely nothing to contribute to its betterment. So that would be Pete's. But he's a lazy, shiftless, I feel bad for him because I do think he's a vulnerable person in the situation. I think she takes advantage of him. But also, it's not news to him. Fool me once, shame on you. She does lay in really quickly with that abusive behavior once she's back in the door, though. Going into his chat, telling them how they're supposed to talk about her. If everyone... yeah, what is the scooter? She priced it. If everyone would donate, I could get a scooter. It's what was it, 2,500? Something like that. And she doesn't... for what? That'd be like if I told you guys I want to get a scooter. Everyone super chat me $5. Actually $7.50 because I don't want to lose that third YouTube takes. So if everyone super chatted me that, then I could next month go do something. And I mean, I like you guys. I'm pretty sure you like me if you're watching, but that's a lot to ask. It's a lot to even joke to ask. So, I don't know about all that. I don't know. I have almond milk left over. And it smells like soup because it's in one of Mark's soup cups. That was disgusting. I'm not having any more almond milk. So, well, suffice it to say, he has a home and he has a family now, you know? Taking the scooter for maintenance. Oh my god. I'm fucking dead. I can't. Some reason it doesn't work. I'm only 345 pounds. Ma'am, the weight limit is 450 on this. Hey, Corey. Oh, yeah, but it must be off. It must be wrong. But something must be off. So her confidence probably right now, because she dumped him, and he went on with his life, and he wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to die pining for her from afar. And because he hasn't, she's upset. So she's going to kick Pete's around until she builds her confidence back up to ruin another man. I think that's how it's going to go. So. They break. They break. You'll see the glasses going off and on. I'm trying to negotiate between being able to see the chat and talk to you guys, but not living a life of glared eyes every time I'm on. So, how's that for timing? That was the last hit. It just died. Some days, some days. So, I have another one. It's in the other room. It's okay. Yes, Orca, I agree. Location. Oh, I was social distancing before it was cool. I miss social distancing. Get off of me. I miss that. If that came back, I'd be okay. Not the masks, really, but people having to stay away from you. It was a really great thing. It was a really, really, really great thing. Gold does not rhyme with gold unless I'm wrong. She thinks they rhyme. She was trying to bury a bigoted comment that flew out of her mouth thoughtlessly because she's not putting it on. She's actually like that. Yeah. Pay good money to see Mobility Miriam scooting around the Canadian streets. Who was it? Was it on 600 Pound Life? There was the woman who took her scooter through the McDonald's drive-thru. And I think that as much came up in her chat, and she had said, I wouldn't, like, it's shaming. It's mobility shaming to watch a 400-pound woman. No, we'll go with her. 350 pounds. She's not too fat to walk. She's just lazy. Otherwise, why can't she walk? You know, my knees hurt, my ankles hurt. Well, you're super morbidly obese and you're 5 feet tall. That's why your knees and ankles hurt. But you're not going to rest it off. You've been laying around for 3 years and the mobility has only gotten worse. So, you know, I think to a lot of people that would kind of be common sense. That's why they have things like physical therapy to get immobile people mobile. And they do it by having them do things. Wipe out in a snowdrift on the long highway. Stopping off at the rest stop so she can pick up a stash of whatever and shit out whatever she didn't. Ugh. That was like her stopping point when she would go to either hook up for something or another. Because she'd always be dashing around. You know when she would like mukbang in her car, which is what Canada's going to be. If she goes back to Canada, we're talking car mukbangs. Because Pete probably doesn't want to be home with it. She's said she's going to do everything she can to not show any part of the new apartment. Any part of her new apartment we're not going to see except the kitchen and a background. Because she doesn't want to dox herself. She can't help it. In the interest of being interesting, she was shooting around the apartment or the house she's in with Sala now. All of a sudden, she wasn't going to show any of it. And then, whoops, the camera slipped. Whoops, the camera slipped. And she's still going for the rage baiting because the pictures of Sasa were coming back up again on the community board. I'm going to miss this little girl. Like, bullshit. You'll forget her name in 6 months. So. Don't talk to me. That's right up there. That needs to be worked into every intro to a Chantal reaction. Catherine, hello, hello. She will get high and talk about him, text him. As soon as she gets a couple substances in her, she's gonna get homesick for, because she has the, it's not a unique ability. A lot of people have it, but she does it very well to whitewash everything. And when another person doesn't do the whole thing, like she'll probably say, "Hey, Sala, I'm just planning my next trip back to Syria, just to visit, to see Julia." And she'll start talking about it for like 3 weeks. And it'll spur him to say, "Don't come again. You weren't welcome the last time." I have such a hard time. I mean, I'm sure I've overstayed my welcome places. None of us are perfect. I'm sure I've been in someone's house or someone's car or at someone's party where they were like, "You should have left 2 hours ago," or "Actually, we shouldn't have invited you." It happens. But she's in a glaring situation where she's unwelcome, wanted out. Whatever her contribution was, Sava is apparently not afraid of losing it at this point. Whatever she was doing for him, he can now go do for himself and isn't afraid of her. This is why Pete's is back. Chantal has a certain amount of bullying that she needs to do in a given day. A certain amount of berating, a certain amount of manipulating. And without a husband to do it with, dun da da da, we have Pete's. And she already starts the bullshit games in his chat, trying to put a wedge between him, and he has nobody except the handful of people in his chat, and she's going to go in there and tell everybody how they're supposed to talk about her. Anyone in your chat should have a favorable opinion of me. Why? Why do you get to decide that for him? If he wasn't such a wet rag, he would do something. He would say something. But that's our Pete's, right? Good old Pete's. Good old shiftless, nothing going on, happy to ride your coattails Pete's. So, Pete's is just what he is, and so is she, and it just happens that he's easy to take advantage of. Plus, even Chantal gets lonely. She doesn't understand why people leave, but she does get lonely. And Pete's takes up that. You know how, like, weird, old, awful celebrities have, like, the housekeeper as a confidant and nobody else? I think Pete's is kind of like that. Yeah, Pete's was going to be the end game because she needs him. And then she has to act like she's, I don't know, been there. She acts like she's been there for him the whole time. She must have lied to her husband about talking to him because she wasn't supposed to. She wasn't supposed to be talking to any other men or whoever. Then she tried to say because Pete's was identifying as trans briefly that it was okay to talk to him. I don't know. There's nothing to say. There's nothing. It's either rage bait or her being an idiot. And I don't know. This is a profitable time of year. You think it's starting to gear up now as we get towards Christmas where views are worth more. Everything's worth more. You think she would wind up for that. And I think she thinks when she gets back to Canada, she's going to be making enough money to not really have to do much until June because she's going to go be a mess during an expensive time. And I don't think any of the people who started watching Miriam are going to stay for Chantal if Chantal turns back into Chantal. Like if it turns back into Villa 2.0. No, Jamie Peace won't learn. I don't know, Irene. This was the same thing I'd said. How did she gain weight? And if she hasn't gained weight and actually has lost weight, why the fuck can't she walk? If there's nothing wrong, then it's a choice. Isn't it? It's none of my business, but you know whether or not you're full of shit. I hope. Your husband figured it out. Pete's didn't figure it out, but oh well. There's a lid for every pot. I guess they found each other. He hasn't brought it up. They hasn't brought it up. Pronouns, clothes, none of it. I think Pete was just exploring, which is fine. People do. It's not something I contemplated, but I'm also not, straight cis hetero myself, so I'm not throwing, mud at Pete's, but it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say mean shit. Except that she's going to kick Pete's around till she gets back the muscles to go bully another man. She will look up Natter, I think. I don't know if that's even a put a 2 in the chat thing, but she will go back and look up Natter. Especially with Dee Dee being out of the picture. Doesn't matter that she's out of the picture because of Natter's behavior or what he might have done to her. It's the territory. It's the ownership. It's the this is mine, I won. If you use the word win in your relationship, unless you're saying, we both win or something, you're fucked. Because that means you're competing with your partner. It's not going to work. And we're not talking about, like, what is that shit with the kettlebells? CrossFit. Not that kind of competitive. Competitive, like, you take turns manipulating and playing cat and mouse with your partner. One of these kind of 50 Shades of Grey relationships that she seems to want, she's not finding any guy that'll give it to her. Lonely and wants to be somewhere. That's, I think, about where I think he is. I think he's exploring. I'll stick with exploring, Tuxedo, but I definitely see what you're talking about. I'll stick with exploring for him. He's a little, well, thing is, though, he's also kind of, arrested development also, like her. She has the trappings of an adult life, but not because she works an adult job. It's not because she takes on adult responsibilities. I think there's probably people out here that if they could sell mukbangs, they would. I think they'd pay their taxes because then they wouldn't have to move abroad for 3 years. Pete's was in therapy. I'm thinking he probably stopped. I'm thinking he stopped. A healthy Pete's would not accept Chantal back. A healthy, sane Pete's would not accept Chantal back for any reason. Maybe as a friend, but I'm not going to live with you, and I'm not going to be your relationship, and I'm not going to be your, the My Little Pony, the poor thing. But that's, so, I mean, I hate, like I said, he seems vulnerable, but he's going along with it. So what do you do? If he's okay with it, and if he says he's okay with it, and he'd rather be this, he'd rather be part of some group than not, which totally makes sense. It's so funny because we were just saying in her chat the other day, they were talking to her that she should join a group. She should find something good to do. We'll see. There was speculation. Who was it? Was I reading it from somewhere? Or somebody sent it to me that when she had allegedly gone to the airport and fell and had a medical event and came back. Somewhere I had read, or somebody had said it was suggested that it was possible she got all the way to the plane and couldn't fit. That would explain why her ticket would have been ripped, because she would have been all the way there, up to the gate, and that she couldn't get on the plane, and they weren't willing to give her 2 seats. I pretty much have thought this whole time she didn't buy 2 seats ever. She would just hope it would be okay, or that the person next to her would want a separate seat. But Pete's is lonely. It's unfortunate. I wish he would find someone who would, like, build him up to be himself. Like, I wish he would find a person, even another friend. Chantal will be the first one to tell you, I'm allowed to have people in my life and people that care about me. But Pete's isn't, is he? He's not allowed to have conversations without Chantal moderating them. It's all ego. It's all bullshit. All bullshit. Well, guys, thank you for joining me for brunch. I had a very good time. I had a very, very good time. That fainting story was crap. She fainted on a... When you fall out because of blood sugar, it looks a little different. Her fainting would have been newsworthy, okay? There would have been a scene. There would have been a mob. But she lies, so it's hard to tell. So thank you guys for joining me this afternoon. I had a lovely brunch. I had some cereal. I had some fruit. We had some conversation. It was a good time. So thank you for being with me here today. Thank you for watching. Any news comes up, we'll be in touch. I'll kick out a haiku to kind of summarize whatever it is. But thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for watching. Please hit a thumbs up on your way out if you'd be so inclined. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Memberships are now available. Also, it's $2.99 a month, and you'll be a member of the Smoky Deck. So if you're interested, do join, and we'll catch up with y'all soon. Thanks for all the input. It was a good chat. It was good seeing everybody, and we'll talk soon, okay? Bye.